I wanted to do this for a while. This is a versus, putting one film against another. But this isn't a franchise. Mad Max, The Road Warrior versus Fury Road. Now let's look at each film individually. Road Warrior came out in 1981, stars Mel Gibson in the title role. Fucking focus. And of course is set after the first film, where he's in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and he's helping these people who are in a shelter try and transfer, what they're trying to see what he's doing. He saves one of their people from being killed by these crazy dudes. As usual, that's just the world of Mad Max. Sorry guys, hold on a minute. Like a martyrs, they're just trying. Seeing these settlers that have fuel, and these martyrs, like these crazy gangs. Like this gang is trying to, they tell them that they have to leave the settlement, or they're gonna kill them, and also leave their fuel. See, he wants to destroy a facility with all the fuel, so the settlers decide to move it through. They decide to push it through. Max decides to help them, and as a result, crazy shit ensues. And some of the coolest car chases, like an incredible climactic car chase, and not to mention one of the coolest badass villain deaths I've ever seen on film. What I like about this movie. Actually, let me get to Fury Road. I'm going to go through the plots. Fury Road. Fury Road is, I believe, a reboot to the original films. Tom Hardy this time takes over as Mad Max. And he's in this play. He's in this... Fuck, where is he? I forgot to play it. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm not really up to date. I've been a little bit light. You guys know I'm amateur, okay? Ow, fuck. Yeah, it's... Mad Max Fury Road. This time it stars Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult, Hugh Keys, Byrne, Rosie Huntington, Whitley Riley Keough, Zoe Kravitz, Abby Lee, Courtney Eaton. I might actually just go back to the Fury Road cast, because that may work. Okay, at least it's Mel Gibson here. I am looking for a greater expansion of the cast. Bruce Spence, Vernon Wells, Emil Minty, Michael Preston, Virginia Hay. That may sound familiar, because it somewhat does for me. I don't know why. Kajili Nilsson Kampola, if I once again fucked up the name. Max Phipps, Archie Whiteley, Ori Claw, I think that's how it is, and David Downer. Yeah. The result, Max is in this, it's once again set in a wasteland where fuel and water are are scarce, and are valuable resources. These are ones that they need to survive. And Morton Joe is the leader of this, what is it called? Citadel. pretty cool, actually. Immortan Joe is the leader of the Citadel, which provides water to the people. And one day, when Imperator Furiosa decides to travel to this facility to get fuel, she goes off course because she's not actually delivering fuel. She's actually saving these people known as wives, who are people who people they use to impregnate, where Immortan Joe impregnates to have kids so that they could steal the breast milk, which of course is something of a valuable resource, I guess. Pretty shocking, isn't it? Ugh. It's rated R for a reason. Also is Road Warrior. And she goes on course, and actually Max joins in on the ride with him trying to get these wives to a safe place. And result, a crazy 2-hour-long car chase ensues, and non-stop thrill ride. Now, let me get to the comparisons. Both of these films are directed by George Miller. Road Warrior is written by him, Terry Hayes. Hold on a minute. Terry Hayes, George Miller, Brian Hannett. It's produced by Byron Kennedy, who George Miller knew. This Road Warrior is written by Miller, Brendan McCarthy, Nico Latharis. Can't believe if I pronounced that wrong. Also, it's produced by Doug Mitchell, George Miller, P.J. Voten. The musical score is done by Juggy XL in Fury Road. Brian May does it for here. Cinematography is done by Dean Semler in Road Warrior. Here, Don Seal. And to be honest, I don't even care anymore. Warner Brothers distributed both these films. Yay! Road Warrior is 96 minutes. Fury Road is 2 hours. My comparisons between which one is better. Now we can all agree the cast. I'll start off with the cast. Mad Max, Mel Gibson is undeniably the best Mad Max. He manages to be very quiet, but he also is a guy who's lost his humanity. He has virtually nothing to lose, and he doesn't really try to settle down or really anything. He's just a former cop who lost his family, who has nothing to lose. What ratings do I give both these films? 5 out of 5. They're both fantastic. Now, when I get to, I'm just going to go through that. Now let's get to the cast. There isn't a lot. To be honest, Mel Gibson is really the only notable cast member in the film. Now, there's no denying that the other cast members, who plays the main villain, and of course one of his main henchmen, pretty creepy, and they're pretty disturbing. Also quotes like, "You can run, but you can't hide." There's not much of a notability. The only real recognizable cast member, Mel Gibson. Fury Road, you have Tom Hardy, who played Bane, obviously. Mel Gibson, you have the guy who would later play Lethal Weapon as Martin Riggs. Also would be the director for Braveheart, played William Wallace. Great movie, 5 out of 5. Also would make and then of course, fuck up his career, The Controversial Passion of the Christ and Apocalypto. It's not a good thing. It's never a good thing. It's not gonna try to rely on it, but really, Jesus Christ. Idiot. Mel Gibson is a freaking psychopath. There's a more notable cast in Fury Road. You have Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult, Hugh Keys-Byrne. Hugh Keys-Byrne, I don't think I really pronounced it right. I can't believe if I did, or if I screwed it up, as I usually do. Hugh Keys-Byrne was in the first film. He played the leader of the motorcycle gang. Here, he is Immortan Joe. a frightening villain. The mask, and knowing the fact this figure, he's undeniably just serving one hell of a crazy, scary motherfucker. Tom Hardy is a great successor for Mel Gibson. He is very quiet, but he does say some good, meaningful dialogue whenever he doesn't really say anything. There isn't a lot of dialogue in both these films, and when Mel Gibson and Tom Hardy say anything, they say a lot of things. Tom Hardy says a lot more meaningful, says a lot more emotional dialogue, but it still works thanks to George Miller as director. Charlize Theron's really the main character in Fury Road, though Max does get once again a lot of screen time as well. He is she's fantastic. She just like Tom Hardy, she's fantastic in the movie. As Furiosa, she's the best female action hero of this decade, if not the best. She's awesome, she's badass, but she's also really broken. And there's a lot of depth to both these characters. There's a lot of depth to her character. See, there's also a lot of depth in both films to the main characters. See, with Road Warrior Max is very broken. I mean, he's the guy who's lost his family. He's been basically desensitized, and he just has nothing to lose. So really, he just doesn't. To be honest, he doesn't really seem to have much of a purpose. And I think he's just really he really has done his time, and he has nothing left. With Fury Road, Max has nothing to lose. I mean, he lost his family. I mean, I guess that is. I mean, they didn't really elaborate on that in this one, but I think it's really just the case. Hopefully, they can explain those flashbacks in prequels and sequels. They should do a prequel because that actually would help. Still love the film though. 5 out of 5. I already did that, but you guys know I loved it. You do. It's a great film. Yeah, let me get back to this. Nicholas Holt's also is just crazy as Nux. I mean, just like, I want to die. What a lovely die. He's very incredibly crazy as hell. I mean, he just does a lot of things unbelievable to the human eye. Well, I mean, not really. I mean, he just does a lot of crazy shit. He's basically insane. Also, there's also a lot of things I find great. I mean, the guy who plays the guitar, I don't know if I can actually do that, the flaming guitar. Holy shit, is that cool. Charlize Theron's pretty badass, also Furiosa, but she's also very damaged. There's a lot of depth to that character. I mean, you understand like her past, like her situation, and there's a lot of depth actually when you think about it. Now let's talk about like the style of these films. Road Warrior had a bigger budget than the first one, which is very low budget, but this one doesn't have as big of a budget as Fury Road did. Fury Road had a budget of $150 million. This has, like, according to what I read, $4.5 million Australian dollars. They used it pretty goddamn well. The action sequences are well choreographed. They're like the car chases, they are fantastic, especially the climatic car chase involving the tanker. That is amazing. Seriously, I mean, the guys jumping from cars, attacking the tankers, a guy on a helicopter dropping. Parks and Recreation theme. My parents were watching it. They love it. Well, my mom and my sister Erin, they love it. I like snapping to it sometimes. It's it's catchy as hell. You can remember it very much instantly if you're good at remembering stuff. And not that great, but I did memorize it because you hear it so many goddamn times. That's some good memory sounds. Like style. I mean, this one doesn't really use. This one uses a lot of wide shots. Uses a lot of shots of the desert, the wasteland, and it's beautiful to look at. But also, how it's used is that they just make it. They use a lot of debris, a lot of car destruction. For what the budget they could use. I mean, they use some car destruction or some cool violence. It's pretty damn violent. Holy shit! Fire, cool explosions. A car being destroyed, a head-on collision with a tanker and a car, and of course it ended up being awesome and badass. That's actually two villain deaths in there, and it's pretty fucking cool. Seriously, you should really see that scene. You should find TV, watch the entire thing, and of course, hopefully you cheer when you find that scene, because I really found that scene. I didn't cheer, but I found it fucking awesome. Also, Road Warrior is narrated by another guy. I forgot God damn it. Let me get out my phone. Like I said, guys, I'm amateur. This is going for almost 40 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. It's narrated by Haran Bainet. Okay, it's his last name is pronounced is spelled Baigent. It's kind of bluff if I pronounced my name wrong. He's the narrator of it, narrating his experiences with the Road Warrior, like the story with him and the Road Warrior. A legend, basically. The only narration you really see, that's really in the beginning, especially with the, according to what I read here, a 246 word monologue. Holy shit. It's pretty damn cool. It's pretty goddamn a lot of words. But it's very good narration. I mean, he's just introducing us to the story involving the Road Warrior, which is Max. And also he's capping it off at the end. It's pretty cool. It's very memorable narration. I mean, he goes into detail about what led to this place being a wasteland. Now, there is narration in the first movie. There is narration in the beginning of Fury Road by Tom Hardy himself. Very dark, very unsettling at times, and very crazy. The vehicles. Let's get to the vehicles. Now, unfortunately, the Interceptor and Fury Road, you don't see it a lot in the beginning, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but I think it made up for that. I mean, you see him drive it for a while, and then it's even used in the like they use two car chases, really. I mean, sure, it's a 2-hour car chase, but one to point A and one in point B. Like point A to point B, then point B to point A. Yeah, so you can say that 2 car chases. I know I'm kind of spoiling this for you guys, but I mean, that's really what I'm saying. Maybe I may be spoiling this for you. But his car was souped up by these crazy guys, and it's used for a while. It's kind of sad he never gets to drive it, but seeing it in there is pretty cool. I think it made up for him not really only driving it for a brief time in the beginning. It was cool seeing it. And seeing it as a badass hot rod, holy shit. All these cars really have a character. There's one with tank tracks or something like that. That was pretty fucking cool. Also, there's one that actually has a moving band. I mean, not only with the guitar, just with the flaming guitar, and of course the guys playing the drums. Seriously, that is so fucking cool. Heavy metal. There's so much character to that. There's so many great vehicles. They're all representative characters. There's like a huge, and of course they also have tankers again. It's pretty cool. Also, yeah. Now let's go to visuals. Visuals. What makes the visual? The visuals. There's not a lot. Mostly, there's more not. They didn't really use a lot of color palettes or anything like that for Road Warrior. There's no real visual effects. What they used was a lot of practical effects. I mean, that's a nice thing to see. I mean, so Fury Road, but they also use CGI. But I'm gonna get to that later. Road Warrior. Road Warrior had a lot of good shots of the wasteland. They were beautiful, wide shots of the action sequences. It looked beautiful. It was beautiful to look at, but also you could truly see the insanity, the carnage, all the chaos of the wasteland. It's pretty amazing. Fury Road, they use a lot of great wide takes, but they even use some CGI, and there's a lot of emphasis on certain colors like orange, red. It's beautiful. It was really beautiful. It really appealed to the eye. So the visuals caught my mind more. Also, the cast is more notable. Okay, I'm going to go to these things later, because I mean, I can still remember the stuff I'm talking about. I mean, there's a lot of great color palettes involving orange and red. They have a lot of emphasis on those colors. I'm not sure if it's really color palettes comp below, because I don't really know much about that. I am amateur, guys. But it's really beautiful to look at. The visuals appeal to the eye more in Fury Road than, well, obviously, Road Warrior. Yeah. Alright, let's go towards the imagination, like all the character, really. There's a lot of, like, when it comes to character in Road Warrior, you get a lot of insane people. Just ones that are just crazy savages. And none of it doubt, just insane, weird, oddball people. You get a lot of different personalities of characters in those movies. Villains who are more threatening with their words than with their physical actions. You get crazy henchmen. You can get this little kid who acts crazy and who can actually kill people. It's pretty frightening. It's also pretty fucking violent. Fury Road is no exception. Very violent, but there's also a lot more character put into it thanks to the budget. Seriously, there's a lot of things I can credit to the budget. Because, I mean, why not? You can credit a lot of things to the budget. Character. It's pretty fucking... There's a lot of character. Not only in the vehicles, but also in a lot of the characters. Like the War Boys, a lot. They share a person. They share basically the same personality trait, but they also have some of their own characteristics. Physical appearance, and even themselves. Nux is more than just like a crazy war boy. He actually does have a human... He actually has an emotional side to them, and it was nice to actually see that. He also did have a humorous side to him. I mean, he was fucking crazy, so he really brought the humor. Furiosa is a very damaged being. Same for Max. They're just part of the... They're not really... They're just really out of place in the wasteland. Hold on a minute. My camera's still charging. I'm charging this camera while I'm recording the video. Yeah, you can see a lot of crazy shit. They give a lot of depth to both of these characters. Max is a guy who has nothing to lose. He's very damaged by the loss of his family. Fury, I guess we can assume the same thing. I'd love to elaborate on that with prequels and sequels. It'd be nice to see that. Because, I mean, that girl in the flashback, could that be his daughter this time? Could that be a daughter? Because I think that'd be a good case. Or something like that. I'd like to see it. Because I kind of like that mystery. I kind of like that sense of mystery to it. Yeah. Anyways. There's a lot of characters, though. There are people who are just damaged, they have nothing to lose, and they're also badass. Let's go to the action. Road Warrior has a lower budget, but the action they show is pretty fucking good. Some of the sequences involving at the facility with the flamethrower, a boomerang killing somebody, some cool car chases. There's a couple of them. One where Max is taking this truck that could be hooked up to a tanker to move it, and there's a lot of crazy shit going on, like he's almost killed. But also there is a helicopter involved that saved his life once. Also, the climactic car chase. There was actually an opening car chase involving the Imperator. I think that's what it is. The Interceptor, yeah. It was pretty cool. Also, there was one time where the climactic car chase where actually a guy tried to hook onto the tank with his car. His old got dragged. It was pretty fucking cool. And of course, the head-on collision, which killed two bad dudes, and it was fucking amazing. A helicopter dropping Molotovs, I think, onto cars. That's pretty fucking cool. Seriously, there's a lot of inventiveness and a lot of imagination put into that sequence. And knowing the fact that George Miller storyboarded Fury Road before he did the script is pretty cool. And I want to talk about Fury and the Road Warrior action is fantastic, but Fury Road takes us so many steps higher. Because I mean, come on, man, you have a bigger budget. The action sequence is done with special effects. Even the action is somewhat of a character to itself. I mean, you have those pendulum those, you know, like those poles they show, like those that have like a pendulum motion that are like a pendulum. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool to see it. And yeah, it kind of works cool. And actually added a lot more character and a lot of cool and creative tension to the sequences. There's a lot of great building suspense in Fury Road, because I mean the film is basically almost moving all the time. You gotta give a major credit to that, because they're basically moving all the time. Road Warrior, there is a lot of movement. Both of them are very fast paced. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot more movement in Fury Road, and I think they did a lot with what they could do, especially the creativity involved in it and the world building. There's a lot of great world building in Fury Road, and even greater world building in Road Warrior. I'm not saying that Road Warrior had better world building, but you get a bit better understanding of the world than in the first film. That one was basically a dystopian future. This is a complete post-apocalyptic wasteland. Fury Road, it's already a post-apocalyptic wasteland. It's pretty fucking cool, though. The villains. They're both very memorable. Immortan Joe is just incredibly terrifying in Fury Road. I mean, the face mask, his voice, his threatening demeanor, and knowing the fact he's just an incredibly threatening guy, and the fact he's just old, he's pretty fucking damaged physically, mentally. It's just pretty disturbing what he is. I forgot the main villain in hold on, man. Let me look up. Lord Humongous in Road Warrior. Yeah, who do I find most memorable? Really Immortan Joe with the shit he does. Lord Humongous undeniably is pretty threatening as a whole, and he did do something pretty crazy bad. He did do the head, and of course the head-on collision. I know I'm spoiling it for you guys, but seriously, Road Warrior came out 34 years ago! 34 years ago, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, come on, they're so influential and amazing. Anyways, let me get on with the action. Actually, I just want to get this through because I mean, it's almost half an hour long. This movie's going to become a half an hour long. Depth, the story. There's a lot of depth given to the characters in Fury Road. There's a lot of different characteristics. You see their emotional side, you see a humorous side to them, and overall, they're pretty good. And you get a lot of characters, a lot of emotional moments. There is some emotional moments. I actually almost teared up a few times in this movie. I was constantly on the edge of my seat in Fury Road. Because, I mean, this thing is constantly moving, and I never got bored. They kept the energy going. They never let up. You've got to give major credit to that. Seriously, if you don't, what the hell's wrong with you? Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you? Road Warrior, not always moving, but whenever they are moving, it is pretty suspenseful and pretty fucking intense. I mean, knowing the fact that there's just no holds barred when it comes to what can happen to you and how it can affect the hero's progress, and especially the progress of the people in the facility. There's just no holds barred. They go almost all out. They go all out, really. Same for Fury Road, especially with the bigger budget. They did so many great things with that. Utilizing practical effects in Fury Road was fantastic. Story, they both have some pretty good stories. Mad Max and Road Warrior is considered a heroine. Truly fantastic. Is truly considered a hero because he's the one that the settlers in the facility look up to and hope will help. Once again, this freaking thing. I need a new camera because this is gonna happen again. I just can't do it. Story. I don't even have stories. Like Mad Max is the hero in Road Warrior. People look up to him. Facility wants him to help him. Wants him. They're basically taking their road to success. Fury Road. They had to get the wives to safety. I may be repeating this. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't know when. But to be honest, I'm just sick of this shit coming out. It's better just to carefully elaborate over what I missed. Yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of good world building and some pretty oddball characters in both films, and it's very fun. Both got 5 out of 5. Now the story, I'm going to say on more on the story in Fury Road. Fury Road, they just keep the heroes moving almost constantly, day and night. Yeah, there's a lot to that. The best action plots are ones that keeps our heroes moving. Now, what can I say about both these films? Both of these films are thrilling, fantastic, powerful, brilliant action films. Some of the best ever made, really. But which one do I like better? I'd love to give it a tie because both these films are great in their own right and as part of the franchise. But if there is one I could say is better, I mean, with all the time that they had to make this, the creativity, the imagination, all the character, and the new that and how it impacted me. The fact is, I cheered and I clapped and cheered in this movie when it was done. Fury Road. Look, guys, hey guys, hate me all you want. I love Road Warrior. It was a fantastic action film, badass, especially the the final car chase. That was fucking amazing. But Fury Road had so much more to do with the budget. They did so much great. They reintroduced us to this character, and I'm so excited for what they can do next. With Tom Hardy, I'll miss Furiosa, but I like to see if they can actually make another cool female heroine, or really expand more upon the new Max. I mean, it'll be great anyway, because I mean, you have George Miller back. I am really excited for once they truly announce the sequels. I will just be getting excited. I'd love to see those trailers. And of course see the film opening day, just like I did with Fury Road. I wish I was around when Road Warrior came out. I really do. Yeah, I watched Beyond Thunderdome and I heard that was disappointing. So that's not really getting my hopes up. But anyways, guys, I consider Road Warrior more superior. Not because I mean it's the action movie in the 80s. It's the 80s action that never came out in the 80s. I'm quoting Chris Stuckman on that. I'm not sure it's the complete exact quote, but I think it's close to it. Comment below. But really, this feels like an 80s action movie with the practical effects. And sure, there is some modern stuff done, some modern elements to it, such as the CGI, which is beautiful whenever they use it. Holy shit! Actually, I didn't even realize how much they actually used. Seriously, it's so beautiful. CGI is fantastic. And just, I mean, this film kept me on edge. It was so much fun. And to be honest, with knowing the fact they had so much more action throughout this, I really had a lot more fun. I had more fun with this than Road Warrior. Now, Road Warrior is a great film. Don't get me wrong. I think both films are great. Max Fury Road is some great world building, and I'd love to see more of it. Road Warrior is a fantastic sequel to the original, which I think is really good. I think I'll give the original a 5 out of 5, because why the hell not? I didn't find any real flaws with it. It's just a low-budget film. What more do you want me to say? Both are full of character. Both are fantastic. Both are 5 out of 5. But I think Fury Road, at least, is a little better because, I mean, with all the time they had to do with it and what they did was fantastic. That's my opinion, guys. Hate on me all you want or agree with me. I don't care either way. Just comment below. What do you think's better, or if you think, or if these are not your favorite. Like, what is your favorite out of these two? And what's your overall favorite in the franchise? It might just be Fury Road, it might be Road Warrior. I don't care. That's your opinion, and I have mine. Comment below, subscribe to my channel for more videos.